Hi everybody, welcome to Sake Stuff Friday. Sorry I've been very busy in the brewery lately. Haven't had a chance to make one of these videos for a little bit. So I'm glad that I just have a time right now. I just finished filtering some sake and just test batches R&D still. We're still a couple of months away from actually launching and selling our sake. But today I'm going to talk about color in sake. It can be a little confusing. What does it mean? Why are sakes different shades? But let me just show you something real quick. Hey, so here we have a bunch of different sake, and color is kind of a tough thing to talk about in sake because of a wide degree of filtration that is used, as well as rice types. And water chemistry and a bunch of other things. But let me just show you something real quick that is pretty evident on being able to tell color in our sake at least. Here is a commercial sake. This is actually a sake from a fairly, pretty good sized brewer in Hokkaido. And you'll see there's slight color, depending on what kind of background the sake is against. It sort of takes on different colors, but here it is against the white bag of rice. It's got a tiny cast of sort of yellowish to it. Then here is some sake that we brewed here. You'll see it's a little yellower depending on where you go in the room. So it's a little bit more yellow. Color in sake is caused mainly by proteins and fats that are naturally occurring in the rice. It is a brewer's job to help remove some of those proteins and fats through proper rice milling, rice ingredient selection, things like that. And so here in the United States, we're kind of limited. No one's really growing high-grade sake rice. So the rice that we have is still really delicious rice. And we get it from some smaller producers in California. It's delicious rice, but it does have a tiny bit more proteins than a Japanese brewing rice. The other thing is filtration. This sake here was filtered, but only filtered to remove particles. You'll see it is quite clear, but we did not charcoal filter it. Just like charcoal filtration for a lot of bigger beverages or in your Brita filter in your kitchen, charcoal removes not only flavors and aromas, but also removes color. So if we took this same sake and put it through some charcoal filtration, we could strip out quite a lot of color. For us, we're trying to sell fresh, minimally processed sake because it's a very different animal than the mass-produced stuff. And it's a unique experience, so we're not going to charcoal filter this to take out any of the color. So a lot of sake in Japan also has color, and again, depending on what kind of background and the volume it's in. You'll notice just these two. This is the same sake. The one on the right obviously looks much more yellow than the one on the left. That is just because there's more sake in this vessel right here, and it reflects and refracts light differently than this small cup. So same exact sake, very different color. To equalize that, brewers in Japan developed what's called the Kiki Choko. It is a small cup or choko for kikizake, which is sort of analysis, sensory analysis. It is very thick white porcelain with some blue rings in the bottom. I've probably talked about this a little bit on the blog before now, but this way you can pour some sake in this cup and the white background assures that you can tell exactly what color the sake is. Also, the blue rings help with determining clarity. You can see sort of how sharp the lines are, which will tell you how clear the sake is. This sake is quite clear. It's been filtered to about 5 microns. So that is really tight filtering. So yeah, it's pretty clear. But this allows you to block out external light. So light from the outside doesn't penetrate, obviously. You get a white background. It gives you a way better sort of palette for analysis than a clear cup would. If you just look at the difference in the cups, because the table is stainless steel and dirty and there's light, and my shirt is maroon colored, this sake on the right is taking very different color cues from the world around it than this sake right here, which is being blocked from most of those. There is a little bit of color that can be derived from iron in sake water. That will actually bond itself to a chemical that creates some off flavors and color in sake, but we have no iron in our water, so the color in this is just from the rice. I'm pretty confident we don't have any iron in the water because we filter the heck out of our water. So that's it. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad that you guys are sticking with us. We're probably 2 or 3 months away from launching our sake here in Massachusetts only in the beginning, but we're pretty excited, just doing some research and thought it would be a good time to talk about color. But right now I'm going to go drink a little sake and clean up and get ready to go home for the weekend. All right, thanks for joining me. See you next time, and as always, keep drinking great sake.